And we're live. What's good, Fire Fam? Welcome to the weekly zodiac readings. We are live. So we're going to go through the chart. We're going to talk about the transits of the week of November 17th to the 23rd. Yeah, and it's going to be a great week. We're affirming it right now. It's going to be beautiful. Let me pull up the chart for you guys. If you're on TikTok watching this, get your ass on YouTube. You can see what's really going on. Ooh, good stuff. I hope you guys are well. I hope you've had a beautiful week. We've been doing this for about 3-4 weeks or so. And I'm watching two chats. What's up, Selena? Store is opening this week. Congratulations. Guys, this is our last week of Scorpio. You can see our sun is at 25. Scorpio. We've got the moon waning through Libra. So, interesting week, guys. We have a new moon. Mercury's retrograde all week. Mercury switching signs and the sun is switching signs. We've got Mercury retro in Sag. We've got Venus in Scorpio. We've got Mars in Sagittarius, Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces, Uranus in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces, and Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. Beautiful stuff. If you guys are on YouTube, be sure to like the video. It definitely helps a great deal with the channel, with the expansion. You guys see the emblem in the background? Pretty cool, right? I just got the poster printed today. And I was thinking today, man, we're going to start with the Aries. Do something a little bit different, a little strange for change. Oh, I got the chat covered up by my phone. Hold on. Is that naughty? What's good? For God so loved the world, blah, 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 bullshit. Get blocked, bitch. That was probably the quickest repent for your sins I've ever had all my life. That was 2 minutes where someone said, but don't perish, have eternal life, John 3:16. All right, cool story, bro. Thanks. All right, but anyway, it's a beautiful day. I'm not going to lie, guys. There's no words, bruh. There's no fucking words. I'm not trying to complain. Do you guys see the purple I put in my hair? I was talking about it. I finally did it. I was listening to Tony Robbins. I'm going to yap for a second before we get into the programming. But you know, our bodies, our brains, we look for congruence. You know, so this is kind of like why certain people's affirmations don't work. They could be like, oh, I'm rich. But if your body doesn't feel rich, you know, so it's like, I can tell you guys I'm good, and I am good. Like, truly, I woke up so blessed. I'm so grateful for my life. It's just like when the moon hits like this degree, man, I usually feel some type of way. The moon is between my moon. So I'm on my period is all I'm just trying to say, fam. It'd be like that. Just get your boy some ice cream or whatever. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I just have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. My eyes look puffy. I had a little cry before I started, but life is beautiful. I'm just letting go. And you've heard me say this for the last 25 days as the sun has been in Scorpio, but this is all about letting go. This is the season of life and death and rebirth. You know, and man, shedding your skin, transforming, it takes a lot of energy. So my real message today, beyond the zodiac readings, is real change has to come from within. If other people want you to change and they put their shoulds and coulds on you, that doesn't go as far as actually needing that change from within. And the only way to really change is to raise your standards. Okay? And to take those shoulds and turn them into musts. Okay? Let this be a powerful week. This is truly going to be a beautiful week. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. I had that moment when I was in my feels and I was just like, you know, fuck it. I don't have to do this. But then I was like, get out of your selfish Leo ass. Get your head out of your ass and smell the fucking coffee, bro. I don't do this for me. I do this for my fire family. I look at the comments, man, and it lights me up. And I'm like, don't be so goddamn selfish, bro. If you're going to let your emotions stop you from sitting your ass in a chair and doing something you love, that's stupid. we're not going to do that. So anyway, we're going to talk about the week. It's going to be a beautiful week, guys. I'm going to fast forward the charts. You can see it, but we do have two highlights. It's good to see the chat rolling in. I see Rach. I see Nadia. I see Chris, my brother. Hey, Fire Family. Good to see you guys. If y'all are on, yeah, good looking out, Haley. She just pinned the comment. If you're on TikTok, get your ass on YouTube, man. There's a whole chart that we're looking at. There's a whole chart. Don't miss out on the good stuff. Good people. I see new faces. Welcome to the palace. So the two things, guys, we're going through a transition. The sun is going from tropical Scorpio to tropical Sagittarius. So it's been a hell of a month, man. Scorpio season holds back no punches. Let me move the chart forward 1 week. So you'll see at the end of the week, we're going to have the sun at 2 degrees of Sagittarius. The moon will then be waxing. So get excited for that. Pay attention to that. We're going to have Mercury move back into Scorpio. Okay. Venus and Mars are still in the same sign. Basically, everything is still in the same sign. You know what's funny is from Jupiter onward, almost all the planets are retrograde. So this really, and plus Mercury, this is really about revision, getting your shit together, thinking about change, organizing your life, and changing your narrative. I've said it before. I'll say it again, guys. Mercury in Sagittarius is about big thinking. It's about finding your voice. It's about speaking up. It's about being loud. All right. Because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. There's a difference between an affirmation and an incantation. The affirmation is like, oh, I'm happy. I'm abundant. Nothing. Once you put the emotion in it, that's when it becomes an incantation. It's like a spell. You start to program yourself. Powerful stuff. I heard this figure, guys, that in our exchanges, in our interactions, the words we choose is about 7% of communication. Like the words we choose. So much bigger than our words is our tone. You know, our rhythm, our pitch, our cadence. You could say, I love you. Or you could say, I love you. Two completely different experiences, two completely different emotions, right? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I encourage you guys to keep that in mind. Do pay attention to the sun in the last degrees of Scorpio crossing over Lilith. Scorpio is all about the darkness, guys. So I think the best thing you can do is just embrace change and find that light within yourself. I'm going to tell you again and again, every year when the sun goes into Scorpio, this puts the spotlight on our power. All right. And it begs the question, what is your relationship with power? Do you feel powerful? Do you feel weak? 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, being strong is a choice. All right. It's crazy, man, because again, on this being the season of life and death, you know, as we honor the ancestors, there can be some grief and there are some things that are outside of our control. You know, and every day that you're alive, it's truly a beautiful day. You know, like I got 5 fingers on each hand. I can stand up straight. I can go to the gym. I can drive a car. It's like crazy to think that, you know, these are blessings. Don't take them for granted. So one thing I like to do when Mercury goes retrograde is just clean, and organize. So let me move the chart up to Aries and we'll just jump right in, guys. Because I showed you we're not getting too much ingress action besides the sun and Mercury. So those are really going to be the highlights for our week, is watching Scorpio and Sagittarius. Okay. Because the sun is going to move from Scorpio to Sag, and then Mercury is going to move from Sag back to Scorpio. So it's like they're flip-flopping. Pretty cool stuff. So we'll start with Aries and we'll look at it, man. You know, Aries. Oh, and shout out to Eva. Eva just became a Reiki master. Congratulations to Eva. Proud of you, girl. So it's funny, we're starting with you, the Aries rising. So moving from Scorpio to Sag, it's funny. Scorpio has a really serious overtone, looking at the existential parts of our experience and the mystical parts. I think mystery in general is a pretty good word for Scorpio. And Sagittarius points us at the big picture, existence in general, in our concepts of it, our philosophies, our cosmology, our beliefs. All right. It's like, how do we relate to that great unknown of Scorpio? That's what Sagittarius is about. This is about the things that we learn. It's the wisdom we acquire. It's the journey. So what I love about, and also we go from Mars energy, Scorpio, to Jupiter energy, which is Sagittarius. So things take on a more abundant and expansive and vast type of energy. And also, I think this is pretty reminiscent of the way we've built our holidays into the calendar. We have Thanksgiving coming up really soon, and then we're moving towards Christmas. So this like Q4, last part of the Gregorian calendar, things kind of speed up as well, as we're celebrating a million things and traveling around and all that stuff. So I just say on that same spectrum of thought, guys, said this last week, I'm gonna say it again. Be careful when you're driving. Pay attention when you're walking, leave early. Don't rush around. Pay attention. Okay. Sometimes slowing down literally speeds you up a little bit. Okay. So what I'm seeing first and foremost for the Aries, because we're going to kick this off, is that it looks like full speed ahead, man. It looks like a fresh air. It looks like a breath of new life, basically, for the Aries people. I'm just going to do a 3-card pull for each one. I set the intention that this is for the best and highest good of all. And I'm going to speak some love and life into all of you guys. I really do want to say that as I'm going off sun, moon, rising, looking at your chart, you really are going to want to look into your own personal chart and pay attention to how these placements in your chart are being hit by the transits. And if that's a lot of technobabble jargon, I wrote a book for you, and that book is Simplified Astrology. I just moved some screens around so I can see both of the chats. Diosa Divina, hola. Or can you say, yo te amo? Yo te amo. See, hell of a month. Yeah, oh my goodness. Whose birthday is it? Oh my goodness. Vero, happy birthday. Oh my goodness. And shout out to my Sagittarius, like late Scorpio Sag. It's going to be you guys' birthdays. All right, cool. This is actually really funny, guys. If you look at the 3 cards like a past, present, future, it looks like the Aries is gonna. I'm affirming this for everybody, man. Like the thing about astrology, you got to really be aware of this. Is that while the stars may impel, they don't compel. If you're looking at astrology, trying to base, major life decisions, or go about your daily life and asking permission from the planets, you miss the whole point of it. I've had astrologers give me the analogy of metaphysical weather. Like you look at the weather app so you know whether you need a coat or you can wear sandals or wear some shorts. And that makes sense. And it's good to know what energies are affecting us all. But if you freak out every time Mercury goes retrograde and you say, oh my God, I can't travel or I can't sign a contract, it's like, dude, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. Astrology is meant to empower you. I think everything is meant to empower you. And if you're not getting that message, man, you lack some wisdom, to be honest. I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, but honestly, that's too gentle. I should really turn it up before I start backing it down. Anyway, here's the cards for Aries. Do you see this, man? Look at this. It's the 7 of Pentacles in the past. What's up, Annabelle? You've got the Fool in the present, and then you've got the Wheel of Fortune in the future. So I don't know how Scorpio season was for the Aries, but it looks like that it might have been kind of a grind. Not just for me, not just for the people I know, but a lot of the Aries people might have had some challenging times in this month of transformation, having to be patient, having to wait, things not moving as fast as they wanted. And now you've got the Fool card, new season, and then you got Jupiter's card, the Wheel of Fortune. So we're looking forward to Sagittarius. And the thing is, guys, while this is a weekly breakdown, I do want to really iterate that as we move signs with the sun, that's a whole month long transition. Okay, so keep that in mind also, that this is going to be the whole theme for the whole month. The sun shining into the ninth house for the Aries people. So that's going to call the Aries people to travel, to study, to learn, to teach. Really cool stuff. And this might just have a whole lucky energy characterizing the month as well. I love the Aries people, man. They're so raw and so real that you can kind of take the Aries energy and apply it to everybody. And there's something called a draconian chart. Fun fact. And the draconian chart basically just makes you an Aries rising, which is really cool. And what that means is that everybody can kind of relate to the Aries energy because it's raw and instant and instinctive too. So we all feel this on some level. So as I'm speaking to Aries, it does speak to the collective a little bit. Pluto in the 11th house, North Node in the 12th. You know, this is about you guys chase your dreams and you really are going to challenge your beliefs. Wipe the slate clean. Pretend like you were just brand new here. Forget about the past. Take the wisdom from it, but don't live in the past. Your past doesn't equal your future. So positive expectations can lead to positive outcomes, but you have to take action, man. You got to take action. I want to say this for all the 12 zodiac signs before I get too far into like separating everything. But man, a vision without action is just pure fucking delusion. All right. I'll say it twice, man. A vision without action is pure fucking delusion. I don't care how much you affirm it, how much you psych yourself up. If you're not doing anything, your dreams don't work either. So honestly, when it turned the heat up, I just got to raise my, honestly, man, don't you guys just want to scream some fucking times? I've been learning that like people don't really want you to be cool. They just want you to be real. And I'm having it's 11:11. So before I say anything else, man, just imagine yourself, guys, like getting everything you want from your life and feeling good about it. Almost started bitching hard. Sometimes you just got to surrender to the flow. Don't let your perfectionism get you. Just let progress be good enough. Okay. Progress be good enough. All right, gang-a-lang. All right, now we're going to go to Taurus. Blessed be the Aries rising. You guys are going to have a good week. And it's going to be a good month. And, you know, pay attention again, guys, to the houses that you have Scorpio and Sagittarius. Because when Mercury moves back, you're going to be revising things in that house of Scorpio. So if I could add more detail to this for the Aries people, just to make it make sense, you know, while this does look like a bigger lens on life, aka Sagittarius, Mercury goes back into the 8th house for the Aries people. So that's looking all about, you know, your desires and your hidden motives and really making a deeper change on a more fundamental level. And let me be more clear, like not letting your desires take control of your fucking life. It's about having some discipline, having a little bit of self-control, Aries. That's the ticket to your success. Okay. And on that same spectrum of thought, man, it all kind of comes down to managing your time, guys. Like if you can't manage your time, you really can't manage much. Okay. So with that being said, you know, I'm going to give you guys what I got and then I'm going the fuck to bed. And we're going to start Monday off fresh and it's going to be a beautiful week. And I hope you guys have a beautiful week as well. So now we're moving into Taurus. Taurus gang, I see you, Chris. All right, what do we got? That, of course, takes the sun from the 7th house to the 8th house. So the funny thing is about the Taurus people is that, you know, Sagittarius for the Taurus rising is kind of like Scorpio part 2 because the sun is actually going to shine into their 8th house. So for about a month, you know, these people are going to be taking a deep dive into themselves, their souls, you know, uncovering their own mysteries, embarking into the great unknown. But then you're going to see Mercury move back into the 7th house. So this week especially has a lot to do with relationships and tying up loose ends in partnership. They say that Mercury retrograde, you know, stereotypically, this is the time when a lot of people's exes may come back or people from the past. And, you know, with Taurus having Scorpio in the 7th, this is kind of what it looks like for these people more than others. All right, so we got Temperance, and that Seven of Pentacles, and then the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So I see it. It's really about that 8th house, guys. You know, with the Taurus, you start to think about what are you lacking? What do you need more of in your life? That's what the 8th house is, truly your desires. And you only desire the things that you feel like you need on some level. On some level. You know, and we could go deep into this, man, because it is the 8th house. But, you know, what are your desires? Are they really healthy? Do you desire things that are toxic? And that's how Scorpio gets the archetype of change. Sometimes you have to transform yourself at the very core. Another interesting thing about Taurus is that Uranus is retro back in Taurus. So for the last 7 years, man, the Taurus energy has been kind of unstable. And we're dipping back into this for a little bit. Uranus is making its final trek through Taurus, probably for the rest of our lives, guys. So this is a little bit higher time frame, but it is really interesting to see that, you know, Taurus people are the most chill people in the world, but definitely let them be chill. Don't provoke them this week. You know, they're going to be trying to manage their stress, find peace, and just be comfortable with their own lives. I'm going to move their chart forward too. I forgot to do this for Aries, but honestly, I did it in my head. But if you guys want to see where the planets end up at the week, you know, you see the sun is in Sag, Mercury moves back. So one thing we'll talk about more next week, guys, is that Mercury and Venus are going to link up. Mercury and Venus are going to link up in the sign of Scorpio. And that's going to be drama. I'm going to tell you guys, that's going to be some drama for real. Because Venus deals with love, it deals with relationships, and then Mercury is all about experimentation. It can be variety. You know, it's the twin sign. And like, why I say it's drama, fam, I'm seeing that like a lot of people, time will tell, but there's going to be a lot of people having to like make their mind up as far as relationships go. Buckle up, man. You know, there's going to be no shortage of love when Venus and Mercury link up. But then you might have to pick one, or maybe you don't have to, but it's just something to think about. Deep thoughts for the Taurus. I'm telling you, man, deep thoughts for the Taurus. Like it's going to get mad existential with this 8th house transit. And the funny thing is about the 8th house transits, guys, is that the Taurus people in this month of Sag, you know, they may spend a little more time by themselves. They may be a little harder to reach. They might prefer more privacy. And there's nothing wrong with that. So big love to you, Taurus. Take care of yourself. In this last trek through Scorpio, guys, just understand that, you know, this is basically like ripping off the Band-Aid. This is like shedding the final part of the skin. This is allowing the change to happen. So we're going to get into Gemini. Gemini. Yeah, the 8th house be like that. What's in your 8th house, guys? Pay attention to your chart and make sure you see where those stars are. Big love to you guys. You're so welcome. Thanks for tuning in and watching it, guys. This one I think will be a little bit shorter. Last one was like close to 2.5 hours, and I don't have the time nor the energy today. I could make the sacrifice and make this super long and drawn out, but it would be diminishing returns, and I would cut into my life force for Mars. So we just know to kind of short and sweet. Let's go to Gemini, guys. So of course, this puts Scorpio in the 6th, Sag in the 7th. So this puts the spotlight on relationships at the end of the week. The final change, let's put it this way, man. And yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the love, guys, and the confirmation, you know, gotta honor ourselves. And I hope to personify that teaching too, fam, because, you know, if you've been rocking with the channel for a while, I know a lot of you guys are just meeting me for the first time now. This might be your first impression of me. That's cool. Nice to meet you. But some of you guys have seen me be live for like 8 hours at a time because this is my full-time thing, which is cool. It's just not the day for that. Not right now. It's been a full day already. But anyway, to kind of like synthesize what's going on right now, because the beautiful thing is the more I teach this stuff, the more I learn it and the more it reflects back to me. But basically this week, end of Scorpio, beginning of Sagittarius, Mercury moving back. And then if you want to learn more about these individual placements like Venus and Mars and Jupiter and Saturn, you know, that's what Mars did with Marcus for. But basically this means the final letting go and really stepping into our power. Speaking of the podcast, I made this metaphor at the beginning of Scorpio. You guys know about change. Imagine you were steering a boat or a plane. When we talk about making a change, it doesn't have to be monumental. It could be something really small and subtle. But if you make like a 5-degree adjustment in your life and then just wait over the course of a month or maybe 3 months or 6 months, a year, you'll be in a completely different atmosphere just because of a minute little detail. Okay. So change doesn't always have to be monumental. Sometimes the little things really start to compound and move forward. And the thing about consistency, guys, that doesn't mean like 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. Truly, consistency a lot of times will look like, 10 and then 80 and then 50 and then 5 and then 110. And it's like, it's just the showing up every day, fam. This is the Kaizen principle. Like if you could even get 0.1% better every day and you just did that consistently, oh my goodness, fam. Those gains start to build. We start to hit that exponential curve. It's really a beautiful thing. So in terms of Gemini, now let's get into this. So for the Gemini, that puts Scorpio in the 6th house, right? So the change for these people really revolves around habits. I think for everybody on some level, but for these people more than others. Like, what are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your schedule? The things you do every day. And it might not even require change in the routine, but maybe even an attitude adjustment could be really powerful around now. And speaking on the sun going in the 7th house, this puts a more beautiful lens on life. So get really excited, Gemini, because you're going to be looking for balance in a lot of ways, man. A lot of ways. And the funny thing is when Mercury goes back into the 6th house, looking at ways to optimize and revise your schedule and the way that you do your work. Driving efficiency. Let's get it. Let's get it. I didn't put my chart on equal today. So you may notice, guys, that the houses are a little bit fucked up, but don't worry about it. Pay no attention to the fucked up houses. It'd be like that sometimes. Damn, fam. Oh, Lord. The devil in here. What's good, Jared? My brother. The devil in reverse, man, in the tower. Are y'all good? Shit, bro. The Page of Cups in reverse, the devil, the tower. Gemini has the most exciting cards. She said, I'm not okay. And it's okay not to be okay, fam. But yeah, this looks like heavy lifting. This is some weight that needs to get elevated. Capitulating, that's what it looks like. Kind of like a breakdown, a breakthrough. Let's be positive. It's a breakthrough. And then also, get ready for I just spoke about this with Taurus, but get ready, guys, because for the Geminis, they're going to have Uranus going through their sign for about 7 years. Pretty soon. So ultimately, it's elevation for the Geminis. I don't always take the tower as a bad thing personally. If you have the insulation to deal with electricity, the tower is the best thing. If you can channel this energy of change. Yeah. And one of my teachers had told me, guys, like when you learn, you grow, that is expansion. But in order to really integrate, you have to contract. You have to rest, right? So this might be leaning heavy on the rest, the integration. The challenge with this chart, I will tell you guys, is that Venus in the 6th house. I see a lot of people looking at me on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, guys, hit the link in the bio. Go to YouTube. You're missing the chart. We're going through the whole zodiac right now. So, fuck with your boy. Hit the sub. He said the tower checks out. Yeah. So the thing about the Venus in the 6th house, guys, I'm saying while Mercury loves the 6th, this is more difficult for Venus. Mercury wants to drive efficiency. It wants to optimize. It wants to improve everything in the 6th. It's so zeroed in on the details. But Venus in the 6th loves perfection. And that's never going to happen. So you have to start to accept the flaws a little bit better when you have that Venus in the 6th house transit. Or it goes through Virgo. We got to really start to accept the flaws or just let bygones be bygones. I say this all the time, guys, but don't let perfect be the enemy of good. And then you add Mars and Sagittarius. I will say, man, this I can see why we got the devil in the tower in these people's cards, man, because Mars in the seventh house is also challenging, fam. Damn. Mars in the seventh house is, at a more positive level, it's fighting for balance, fighting for peace, fighting for justice. But at worst, it's being way too wrapped up in other people's problems or caring way too much about the reaction you get from people, living for others instead of yourself. So be careful of that. While lifting others up is probably the most fulfilling thing you're ever going to do in this life, just be careful, man, because a life lived only for others is no life at all. Right. And the beauty of it, as we go through that seventh house sun transit, you'll be finding the balance that you're looking for 100%. And your relationships are going to take on deeper meaning and more significance. It's such a beautiful thing. And honestly, Sagittarius, if I didn't drive this home earlier, guys, it has a very spiritual undertone being ruled by Jupiter. What's good, Jack? What it do? What it do? So for these people, man, Gemini rising, they're going to take their relationships under a spiritual lens and say, does this mean anything? Are we growing together? Are we going in the same direction? If not, we might have to part ways. If it's not serving, like sixth house Venus, if it's not helping other people, both of us involved, it might be a relationship of convenience, which ultimately is really not that convenient if you really think about it. So big blessings to the Geminis. I love y'all. I'm the apple that fell off the Gemini tree. My dad's a Gemini. All right, but we're going to go into Cancers. She said, yup, and crying. Dude, we could cry together. Looney Tunes in the house? Oh, shit. The queen herself. I see you. The Gemini herself. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Yeah. I don't know if you caught that. I see you just popped in. We just did your sign. What's the YouTube? It's linked in the bio. It's Mark David Meyer on every platform. Let's talk about the Cancers, guys. Cancer rising. Isn't this so much better than TikTok? I'm telling you guys. I low-key put the TikTok. I'm going to show you guys on YouTube right quick, but it's like I have my live on here right now, so they don't get to see it. It's like it's going to funnel them. What's up, Mama G? But yeah, we get the screen share, man. It's so cool. All right, so let's talk about it. And yeah, dude, look at it. It's such a look how fucked up the chart is, guys. My astrologers can see this. Like the first, second, and third house are so tiny, and then the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth are so big. Let me see if I can fix that. I know I can. That shit is kind of irking me. I don't like that. All right, let's put it on equal. You said it's perfect. It's like, what I was just saying is don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Okay, that is much better, though. I don't know if I'm still sharing. It looks like I'm sharing the same one. Okay, boom. Can you guys see the purple? It looks gray to me. Like, it's a semi-permanent. Okay, but anyway, my Leo ass said, forget the chart. Look at my hair. No, dead ass. Oh, hell no, bro. I didn't even fix it. It's the same chart. Oh, Lord. Whatever, man. Just pretend like the houses aren't fucked up. Okay? We'll pretend. It's like the Wizard of Oz. I don't know if you guys ever seen the Wizard of Oz. I don't think I could spoil it if I wanted to, but he's like, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. And they're like, who's that man behind the curtain? So forget about this Scorpio in the sixth. Pretend Scorpio was in the fifth, because that's where it's really supposed to be. Okay? All right. And this is what I love. Shout out to the Cancers, man. You're going to have the sun moving from the fifth to the sixth, and Mercury moving from the sixth to the fifth. So they're going to flip-flop. It's going to be beautiful. And by the way, guys, tomorrow, I want to say, man, for the collective, kind of zigzag in and out of the signs, but like for the collective, guys, tomorrow, you're going to see the sun make a conjunction with Lilith. Okay? Yeah, I had an epiphany, man. I just came online. I had a realization. This is my show. And I knew that, but it's like I was forgetting that because I got into the mode of thinking that like, oh, I'm supposed to follow a certain structure. Like, not necessarily, man. I could do however I want to do that. If I want to jump in and out of the signs to go back to the collective, I can actually do that. This is my house, man. I make the rules. Hell yeah. But hey, I'm just going to talk about Monday for a second, guys. Tomorrow, the sun and Lilith are going to come together. Or I should say, the sun is going to cross over Lilith. All right. And what the hell does that mean? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I thought you were never going to ask, actually. And what that means is, oh, get ready to embrace the darkness. I don't know how you're going to feel. I'm affirming you're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel like cloud nine. But honestly, Lilith a lot of times reflects our repressed emotions. And I know a lot of us may already be kind of feeling the sun applying to Lilith. Feeling just moody, like we're brooding, a darkness, maybe rage, maybe deep lust. It could be all types of intense emotions and kind of just bouncing back and forth between them. So my best advice, the only thing keeping me sane in Scorpio season is the motherfucking gym. Me in the gym, we making sweet love in the gym, and they revoked my membership because you're apparently not allowed to do that shit. But damn. One of my friends had told me, like, that's the only place I really feel in control. I think that was beautiful. And I concur. Erica just got back from the gym. We work it out, man. Yeah, we work it out. Like I said, man, being strong is a choice. It is a choice. And when you have like intense emotions, destructive desires, sometimes the best thing you can do is just exhaust your energy, right? Exhaust your energy. But I will say, on that same spectrum of thought, guys, be careful, especially with Mercury retrograde, that you are, leaning out of your edge as opposed to jumping off the cliff. You don't want to be ego lifting or pushing your limits so hard, like then you run the risk of getting an injury and setting yourself back a little bit. And that's not what we want. But you do want to move some energy. I'll tell you guys, like, I'm fantastic. I'm always going to affirm that. But like, after I got at the gym today, I was doing legs, man. And believe it or not, I like left the gym with like a muscle pulled in my upper back. And I know I didn't even use those muscles at all in the gym today. And they weren't sore when I got there, but they were sore afterwards. And I've been doing energy healing long enough to know that that's because I'm moving energy through my entire body and I'm creating more space in my body in general. So it's a deep release for me personally. And I know a lot of us are going through that right now with the moon waning and it's going through the season of Scorpio. So I think this is the perfect time to talk about the moon, especially with Cancer. I like how I'm doing this video, guys. Like, if you wait to be perfect to start, you're never gonna fucking start. All right. So sometimes you just have to start and then just let yourself improve along the way. And as I started the video, I was assuming, oh, I'm gonna go sign by sign. It's gonna be neat. And then maybe time stamped and everyone's gonna love it. And it's gonna be in a nice little box. I'm like, no, fuck that. I decided about 5 minutes ago, we're not gonna do that shit. Now that we're talking about Cancer, we can actually focus on the moon too, the ruler of Cancer. So let's do it. Are you guys enjoying this as much as I am? Because I was low-key like dreading this because I boxed myself into it. And I was like, nah, now that I'm off the rails, I'm going to have a good damn time. So it's Thursday, guys. All eyes on Thursday now. Check it out. Thursday is our new moon in the sign of Scorpio. So effectively, you're going to want to mark your calendars and set some new goals and do some rituals. Look at that stellium, guys. Look at this shit right here. You've got the sun. You've got the moon. You've got Lilith. You've got Mercury. And you've got Venus. All in the sign of Scorpio. So, excuse me, this week has like a feral, raw, animalistic energy. This week is demon time, guys. I'm telling you. It's demon time. I'm about to almost drink the Florida water for real because I was trying to feel something. I'll drink the water. Don't drink the water from Florida. It'll clean you out. All right, guys. But what does the new moon in Scorpio really mean? It means getting control of your fucking life. All right? Yeah. Keep it simple. We could unpack this on many different levels, but that's really what it is living powerfully, living direct, and having control over yourself. Okay? And bearing in mind the moon reflects our home, That's what it's going to play out for a lot of us, is just feeling good and comfortable somewhere in the world. And this will play out like a bunch of different ways for people. Like, let's say, for instance, maybe you might be a mom and you got a bunch of little rascals. Maybe home is a very active place for you. So maybe you find your comfort, your control in the book, for instance, or maybe you take up finger painting with the kids or something like that. And you're going to want to look even deeper into your chart, look at the moon, look at your fourth house, and where you have Scorpio. It's going to make even more sense. Okay. But let me tell you guys, so for the Cancers, the Cancer rising, they're going to tone it down a notch, or things are going to really switch for them. I'm going to tell you. The fifth house transit is all about having fun. It's all about expressing yourself. And I don't want to tell these people not to do that, but the sun in the sixth is like, lock the fuck in, twin. Get your shit together. He says, you better work, bitch. You better work. And frankly, with Mars already going through their sixth house, these people are really wanting to turn it up already, want to be more productive. She said, don't drink the water in the Everglades. Don't do that. Yeah, bad time. All right. And what I'm intuiting, I'm going to pull some cards for these people, but what I'm really getting with the fifth house, Mercury retrograde, is the Cancers, especially, are going to be looking at the ways in which their words are diminutive of themselves. Like, how do you talk down to yourself, and how do you stop doing that shit? I know a lot of the Cancer people, they're going to be revising their affirmations this week, their incantations. So we got the High Priestess. We love it. Whoa, that was beautiful. And the Magician. All right. I say this all the time. Hell yeah, man. That makes a lot of sense. Actually, Aries got this too. So crazy that both the cardinal signs got Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune, on the right. I'm never going to give you guys disempowering messages because that's stupid as fuck. Let's be real. You should never believe a message that doesn't empower you. And I kind of feel like it's my ethical duty, therefore, not to give a message that's disempowering. Could you guys imagine if I had like a crystal ball and my head was all wrapped up and I said, oh, I'm seeing good news and bad news. And the good news is you're going to die. And the bad news is I don't know what good news means. Get excited. It's going to be a great week. You're so fucked up. No, it's going to be a great week for real. Like, and you guys are going to make it the crazy thing about life, guys, speaking on the sun in the fifth, is like, if your life sucks, it probably has something to do with how you live it. Okay. Some people say life's a bitch and then you die. And I'm like, man, that is not a profound remark on existence. That's kind of lazy thinking to me. Like, yeah, shit happens. Some things in this world are so crazy that you don't even really want to talk about it. But like, at the end of the day, you always have control over how you respond. And in the interest of Scorpio, where is our power? Where is our control? That's where it is. Among a few other places, your responses, your actions. And I'm going to move into Leo. Let's do that. But just keep that in mind, guys, that, this is a stream of consciousness. Knowledge is not powerful. It's potentially powerful. Real power comes from action. Real power comes from action. Success is something that you do. It's not something that happens to you. Okay. In an interest of Scorpio, guys, this is all about evolution, the only solution. So are you willing to let the weak and scared and stupid and inferior version of yourself die? Or do you just like that version of you too much, so you just cling on to it forever? I'll let you think about it. All right. Consider the vibrations raised. So look at this, guys. This is the Leo chart. Let's go. I'm a Leo sun, but I'm really waiting for Virgo rising because that's where I am at. So for the Leos, this is actually really cool, guys. So the Leos are going to, when are Leos not having a good time? I say 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, they're having a great time. So you're going to see the sun go from the 4th house of Scorpio to the 5th house of Sagittarius. And then the Leos are going to be acting brand new and bold. When the sun's going through the water house, they might be taking more of a step back, more into the privacy of their own homes and the comfort of their family and friends, right? But then you put the sun in the 5th house of the Leo rising chart, man. The Leos are going to get loud and obnoxious this week. I'm telling you right now. And they're going to be that way all fucking month. So get excited, guys. Be aware of this. Don't tempt me with a good time. 100%. They're going to get loud. They're going to have a lot more fun. They're going to be extra and bold. And it's like kind of how they are every day. But in addition to that, you're going to see Mercury retrograde into the 4th house for the Leo people. And that's really going to have them revising things that deals with their family and close friends. I mean, quite literally, this could look like cleaning the house too for a lot of the Leo people. If you want to take it a little less emotional, more physical, yeah. And like I said this before, I'm going to say this again. I'll repeat this until I reincarnate on the hill and I have to tell you this again, man. But look at your placements like your sun and your moon, Mercury through Pluto, because there's no two Leos that are alike, okay? I mean, anybody with half a brain can realize there's more than 12 people in the world. You know, you look at the angles of your planets, it gets very complex. So, hey, it's so funny, man. It's the Page of Cups, the 5 of Swords, and the 3 of Cups. So, you know, Leos are happy and fun. Scorpio season seems to have whooped some of their asses a little bit, and they're going to have fun again in Sagittarius season. Hell yeah. Scorpio kind of drags all of us, no matter what your sign is, man, because it's that energy of surrender. You know, and you either take that ass whooping graciously and gratefully, or you take it kicking and screaming, right? That's kind of how it goes. Yeah, I see you. Now you got the Leo rising. Yeah, 100%. So just ride the wave, man. Have fun. Came in like a wrecking ball. Yeah. The beauty of this chart for the Leo risings, I will say, man, Jupiter in the 12th is a very lucky placement. You know, and some say luck is also something that you create, that like things aren't supposed to just fall at the sky, but sometimes they can. And, you know, there is an intelligence moving through all of us in this universe. And, you know, if you believe and you're open to receive, sometimes it can work on your behalf. So that is something to think about. But on that same spectrum of thought, guys, while Jupiter is retrograde, I don't feel in good conscience to tell you guys to rely on luck. I would just say, the more action you take, the harder you work, the more available you are, the luckier you're going to get, truly. Point blank, period. Okay. Funny thing about this chart, though, guys, is the North Node in the 8th house. So, you know, it's kind of like a Scorpio year for the Leo risings. But Leos, y'all create your life. So bottom line, make it a great life. Make it a great week. Don't let the retrograde get to you. Slow the fuck down. And then really speak love and life into yourself and watch how good your life becomes. All right. That's what I got for you guys. Blessed be. Now let's talk about me. Oh, fuck yes, man. Let's talk about me. I've been waiting my whole week for this part, fam. Oh, my goodness. The Virgo risings. Where my Virgo's at? Virgo in the 1st is what I'm looking at. So this is going to put Scorpio in the 3rd. The sun is going to move from the 3rd to the 4th. Okay. So you've also got Mercury moving from the 4th to the 3rd. Pretty cool stuff, man. So what that basically means is for the Virgos, this is going to be all about feeling at home, getting more comfortable, spending time with your fam, spending time with your friends, spending time with the ones that are near and dear and close to your heart. That's Virgo energy right now. Mars in the 4th house, though, I will say, is asking the Virgo people to address their frustrations, to really open up their heart, you know, to embrace connection. And what I was thinking about this today, man, just kind of contemplating how this video is going to go. But Mercury loves the 3rd house, guys. So I really think that this week for the Virgo people, it's going to be good. It's going to bring a lot of things into balance and perspective, but just understand, guys, that a lot of times change is quite uncomfortable. So if you can understand that you're going through change when you're in the moment of discomfort, sometimes that's all the perspective you need to really make things make sense in your life. Okay. So that's a beautiful thing as well. Wow. sometimes in Scorpio season, you just want to like, hibernate a little bit. I know we're moving towards winter anyway, but wake me up when the change is over, right? All right, we got the 10 of Cups. We got the Death card. Yeah, of course we do. It's about that time, guys. And then what's our third card? And the 4, yeah. Celebration. Celebration. Life is a gift, man. Any time that you're alive, that you're awake, man, you have something to be grateful for. That infinite possibility, that experience. So what else is there to say besides Venus in the 3rd? Look at your life with love. You'll see the beauty in all things. Simple, profound. Just be willing to embrace this change. I'm going to speak to the Virgo in the collective because we all have Virgo in our charts. Even if you're not a sun, moon, rising Virgo, we all have a Mercury, we all have a 6th house. And that constellation is in one part of our charts. But guys, Virgo is all about getting really specific. A lot of people don't get what they want in life because they don't fucking know what they want. Damn. I might repeat that. But man, a lot of people can't get what they want in life because they don't know what they want. It's important to know what they want. And deeper than that, fam, why do you want what you want? Like reasons come first, then actions come later. So beyond what you want, figure out why you want it. A lot of people will put the cart before the horse and they say, oh, once I get all this money, then I'll feel rich. Or once I get a partnership, I'll feel happy. Once I'm successful, I'll feel happy about myself. Now, fuck that. That's bullshit. That's wasted time and energy. And the crazy thing is, fam, if you doing it that way counterintuitively, the goalpost just moves further back the more you chase it. So we don't want that. That's a stupid game to play. You get a stupid result, stupid game. Let's not do that. What's up, Virgos? You made it on time. Decide what you want, know why you want it, and get the fuck after it and have fun. 4 of Wands. But I will say, Virgo people, and I'm going to wrap this up, get into Libra, but, notoriously the most scrutinizing and meticulous and critical sign. So what I was seeing with that death card in the middle is like the Virgos, and really all of us on some level in this Scorpio season are in the middle of great change, deep transformation. And a lot of times that is very uncomfortable. So you just have to understand that and don't add insults to the injury, if that makes sense. And sometimes it's not even really an injury. It's just the fact that growing hurts, right? Sometimes success tastes like shit. For real. It's like when you're working out and your muscles are tearing and it hurts, or you're studying and you feel stupid, or you're being loved correctly and it makes you feel unworthy because you're not used to that love. It's that same type of energy. You may be actually moving forward and succeeding, but if you aren't having the right focus and perspective and belief, you could be feeling very negative about what you're having, and it could be actually really positive stuff. So just keep that in mind. I'm glad you needed to hear that because, man, I know I did. It's like me talking to my younger self, for real. Let's talk about Libra now, guys. The sign of balance. We're halfway there. So Libra, sun, moon, rising, wherever you got Libra. I'm speaking to the divine hips, I guess, the divine kidneys. Because the mellotheistic person, as we talk about, like Aries, the head, Pisces, the feet, that we like live inside of the God body, or the goddess body. All right. So what is it? We got Scorpio in the 2nd, Sag in the 3rd. So for the Libras, keep this in mind, guys. This week you're going to see the sun move into the 3rd, and then Mercury moves back into the 2nd. All right. So the Libras have been getting their money up all month, and they're probably not going to stop doing that. But I will say that this month of Sagittarius is all about opening the mind for the Libra people. This might even be about challenging your beliefs, questioning your philosophies, seeing, do you actually like practice what you preach, or are you a hypocrite? That's going to be really relevant as well. because that's Mercury going in the second house. Like, do you really live your values? Do you really know what your values are? Does your life reflect that? And on a more, like, that's serious. Like, that's very serious. And what I'm about to say next is kind of serious too. But you'll see Mercury going through the second house in retro is all about getting your finances in order as well and organizing your money. Venus does rather well in the second house, by the way. So for the Libra people, there is, like, this chart, like, this isn't a real belief I have, guys. I don't think anything in astrology is good or bad. I think these things just kind of are what they are. But if you look at the astrological tradition, you know, some of these planets have essential dignities in certain signs and houses and, you know, less dignity in others. And all I'm trying to say, man, is this chart's pretty beautiful. It's a pretty cool chart. With Pluto in the fifth, you know, the Libra people, they're learning how to step into their own power, be a little more selfish and take care of themselves first. It's all about independence. It's all about making sure I'm good and my people are straight, and then I can put other people's mask on after mine is on my face. Beautiful stuff. Libra, you're going to have a great week. Why? Because you said so. Not because I said so, because you said so. How crazy is that, guys? This is a Emperor in reverse. It was like Aries in reverse. That's basically Libra energy. Just calling you out immediately. Said, hey, this is your reading. These are your cards. And another thing I'm looking at, you know, with this Emperor is like really standing into your power. Looking at the times where you might have been too much of a people pleaser or compromised a little too much. The Seven of Cups in the very middle of you guys' energy. Oh, and then the Two of Cups. So looking at where you might be a little bit distracted or a little bit scatterbrained, unfocused. You see, that's kind of the energy is locking in. And whatever you're going to do, enjoy it. Two of Cups, that you put love into your life. Venus. So I'm going to speak to the divine heart right quick. The divine balance that, you know, we've been talking a lot about Scorpio this month, guys, and change and how your standards have to raise, and that change has to become a must and not a should in order for you really to really make long-lasting change. But let me tell you guys, it's not what you're doing, it's how you're doing it that makes a world of a difference. And you truly will go so much further with love as opposed to hate. It sounds cliche, but it's the truth. You'll go so much more far and enjoyably with love as opposed to hate. And the truth of the matter is, guys, you can't be born without love on some level. So always remember that. You can't be born without love. And that's truly what each and every one of us is seeking on some level, is to be loved. And that's also our greatest fear, is the loss of love. You know, beyond the fear of death, the loss of love is really why people fear damn near everything else they fear, whether it's rejection or mistakes or failure. They assume that if they were to fail, they would lose love, right? So that's what people are looking for. So I just want to make it abundantly clear, fam, that, you know, you can motivate yourself to change from hate or anger or discontent. But at the end of the day, fam, if you are motivated off of those emotions, you could attain a lot of success, but then you may have a moment in the future that looks like sabotage because your unconscious wants you to experience love as opposed to the quote unquote negative emotions that motivated you to attain what you thought was success. So keep that in mind. All right. Let love be your guide this week, Libra. That's what I'm looking at. So let's get into Scorpio. Just ideas, man. You know, I had an idea. Maybe I could make a video like next time we do this. And for about an hour and a half, we could just say words, 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 words. And he said, damn, that motherfucker's spitting. Words, 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 words. And that'd be like the only word. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I'd be like, words. Words, 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 words. Words. And everyone's like, word. And yeah. You see what he said? Damn. Okay. Palabras. See. All right. Scorpio rising. Let's get to it, man. Scorpio in the first. That's what that means. So check it out, guys. Scorpio in the first. That puts Sag in the second. So you're going to see the sun move in the second. Mercury move back to the first. And hey, All eyes on Scorpio this week, guys. The new moon is in this sign on Thursday. You got Venus, Mercury, Sun, Lilith. Oh man, a Scorpio stellium. So for this sign, this week really is about turning the page to a whole new chapter. You know, you read the chapter, you're like, oh, hell yeah, words, 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 beautiful book, love this. And they're like, damn, the chapter ended, cliffhanger. Wow. Can't wait to read this one, right? So basically what this means, guys, in the season of Sagittarius, these people are going to get all into their money in their bag. When the sun lights up your first, you want to show your ass to the world and be like, hey, this is me. Pay attention to me. I'm the sun. I'm the one that the world revolves around. And on some level, we all kind of have this experience of life because of our egos. But then the change for Scorpio is, okay, so how am I going to take care of myself? What do I really need? That's going to be the big focus for Scorpio this week. What do I actually need? All right. And then when you put Mercury in the first house, retrograde, you're like, how do I change myself? How can I relate to myself? This might be about your style. It might be about your self-image, your physiology, the physical body. You know, and this is something that I could see in almost all 12 of the signs, but I know it's going to hit deep for Scorpio this week, is the physical health of the body is going to be paramount. And, you know, a lot of people talk about how the body will literally tell you what it needs if you listen. And that's going to be a big thing for the Scorpios this week, is that if they just pay attention, man, the road is going to be pretty clear. It's like if life was a video game and you were able to turn the quest on and your map just shows you where to go. Like, that's what's going on for Scorpio right now. All right, guys, so check this out. And this is too funny, man, because look, you've got two court cards. You've got the Knight of Swords. You've got the King of Cups. All about character, all about the first house. And then you've got Saturn, the world. Basically saying y'all could have whatever you want, man. And I think that kind of reflects, check this out, that's that fifth house that's all lit up over here with Pisces, the North Node, Saturn, Neptune. I mean, Scorpio is really giving main character energy right now. And of course, it is still their season, you know, saying the world is yours, the ball's in your court. If you're willing to embrace your life and take action, fam, like the sky is the limit for you. It's deeper than the limit. Or it's deeper than the sky. It could be whatever the fuck you want it to be, fam. Scorpio, be powerful on purpose. Like, I said this before, but I just want to direct it to y'all watching it. But let go of the lesser version of yourself so you could be more, do more. You know, the worst thing you could do is die with regrets, just thinking, oh, I didn't really give life my best effort, knowing you could have, should have. Now I can't because now I don't have time. Oh, Lord. How terrifying is that, fam? That's pretty scary to me personally. But anyway, we're going to talk about Sagittarius now. So Sagittarius, this is the one that's really going to be getting the focus this month. Whoops. And this is the back half of the wheel, guys. Crazy to think about. Once we're capped, that's the last quadrant. So for the Sagittarius, you see that sun going from the 12th to the 1st, and then Mercury going from the 1st to the 12th. So you see these Sagittarius people are going to jump out the shadows right now. When the sun goes through your 12th house, I will say this is a little bit more of a serious time. It can be a heavier time, more emotional, more solipsistic. You may feel more isolated when the sun's in the 12th. But when the sun hits your first house, some astrologers call this your second birthday. You know, you have your birthday on the day that you were born, but when that sun hits your ascendant, that feels like fresh new life coming into your energy body. So that's really cool as well. So Sagittarius sun. Hey, I'm not going to charge my phone just so TikTok knows. We're live on YouTube. If this live on TikTok is shut down, go to YouTube and look at the stream because we got the chart live. Shit, if you're on TikTok right now, just go right now because we're looking at the chart. But let me tell you guys, when Mercury goes back in your 12th, then you're going to start putting all your beliefs into the microscope and saying, damn, I think that about life. Wow. I think this about myself. Damn. Or this could be like the universe sharing its secrets with you. exposing what's hidden. If I could put one word to it, this week for Sagittarius, all about revelations, the end times. What do they call that? The rapture. You're going to get raptured this week. Get excited, Sagittarius. There's going to be a UFO coming to abduct you. Get excited. Bro, imagine I did like all 12 signs and it's like, you're going to have a good week. You're going to have a good week. But Cancers, you're going to fall into a snake pit. And then Leos, it's a good week for you too. And then Virgo's got a good week. But Sagittarius, oh man, watch out for like trap doors or you might slip on a banana peel. Okay, what do we got? The Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords. Be careful with all this new energy. I see it's Mars in your first house. You know, Mars in the first with the sun in the first. You're going to feel brand new and confident and full speed ahead. You're going to want to pace yourself this week, Sagittarius, because what you have more than the other signs this week is a fuck ton of energy. Like we all have energy, but you guys really get like an acceleration out of these transits. So just make sure that you remember to breathe. Sometimes you may need to slow yourself down this week so you can actually speed up or not trip over yourself or your frantic ass energy. Okay. I love y'all. You're going to have a great week because you said so. And even if it doesn't give what you expected it to give, good. Let that be the Fire Fam's mantra this week, every sign. When life gives you lemons and that's what you wanted, be like, oh, good. I wanted that. I'm grateful. Life gives you a banana pill to slip on. Good. I actually wanted to test the floor. I actually wanted to break my hand. Let me not say that. Good. You know, how is this good? How can I use this? That's your challenge. Like I said, you can't always control what happens to you, but you can control your attitude, your responses. So that's beautiful. That's where your power lies. This is a serious week, guys. I'm not even going to lie. Last 5 days of Scorpio, a new moon, and then new season. And then a Mercury retrograde as well. So starting in that same order, transformation. Your new life is going to cost your old life. Point blank, period. If you really want to grow, you have to raise your standards. Okay? Change has to become a should. I'm sorry, not a should, but a must. If it's a should, it's when it's convenient. Be sometime when everything's perfect, I might get to it. But if it's a must, it happens. Okay? And the Capricorn is about this. This is for the Capricorns. Capricorn loves this shit. So you're going to see the Capricorns get into the lab this week, guys. I said this before in the last couple of weeks, but the 11th house transit was all about rubbing shoulders with people and getting in the community, kicking it with your friends, teamwork, making the dream work. And then the sun going in the 12th now, you're going to see the Capricorns taking a bigger picture view of things and, you know, being and maybe even a little harder to reach as opposed to the other signs. When the sun goes in your 12th house, you start to look into your sacrifices in the ways that you devote to life and also where you may do too much, where you might be martyring yourself. And reinforcing those boundaries is a must. What I do love is the 5 of Cups. That's crazy. What I do love about the Mercury going back to the 11th is that, you know, this is about planning out your future better. I love this. We got the 5 of Cups and the Devil. And the Page of Cups in reverse. And let me tell you guys, man, like, what's up? I see the Cap. What's good, Harvest? You looking into your childhood too. The 12th. You know, the 12th is your unconscious beliefs, the energies that imprint upon you too. So that's what I'm seeing in these cards is that, fuck, man, you know, some of the Capricorns are going to be like, you know, why do I feel sad in some ways? Or why do I put myself in positions where I subordinate myself? Why do I turn myself into a martyr? What would a person who experiences this shit have to believe about themselves? And that's what's going on with this 12th house transit. releasing all this stuff. It's like reshaping your beliefs. And also look at this Page of Cups, really taking a look at the more innocent and pure and young part of yourself and building a deeper relationship with that. This looks like that inner child, diving deeper into your past. It's beautiful stuff. I love it. Mars in the 12th is like fighting demons too. We got the devil card out here, which is your card, Capricorn, but a picture is worth 1,000 words. That's another thing I'm seeing in this current energy is Mars in the 12th. You starting to, look at really where you self-sabotage and cut that shit out. Okay. There's a renewed sense of hope and purpose to fight the good fight. But ultimately, you're not here to play Captain Save-A-Ho or put fires out your whole entire life. It's more than that, This is about you finding joy in your own life. And an interesting thing to think about as far as traditional astrology goes, guys, this 11th house sun transit is not the best place for the sun. If we're being completely honest, it's not the worst place either, but it's intrinsically challenging for the sun to be in the 11th house because the sun is home in the 5th. That's all about me and my life being full. So the 11th house teaches us with the sun how to shine a light for others and to create the person that we admire and give it to the world, which is really your main purpose in life. And I say that to everybody. You create the person you admire and you give it to the world. But you have to learn how to take pride in your growth. You have to learn how to take pride in your identity and your role in your community. And there can be a challenge here too, where, drawing that line, setting those boundaries up. Great power comes with great responsibility, right? So you can give so much to the world, you could lose yourself. And even with the right boundaries in place, you might not even feel good about the things that you're doing. And it could be good for everybody. And that's really unfortunate, man. Like sometimes leaders have to go first and run further and eat last, but not always. They don't always have to do that. So that's what I'm really kicking in for the Capricorn this week, is just to say that like sometimes the best way for you to lead is literally by example. And if that means not being perfect, so be it. Oh, well. Take care of yourself, Capricorn. That's the main thing I'm seeing with this Page of Cups, is take care of yourself. Like the Cap has this reputation of being rigid, with that opposition to Cancer, not being so emotional. But it's asking you this week, can you please connect to your feeling nature? I mean, the truth is, it's 4 weeks. It's a month of the sun in the 12th. So you're going to feel it, Mr. Krabs. You're going to be in your feelings. And you're going to be letting a lot of emotions go. Look at this 5 of Cups. The devil and it's like the shit that you avoid is going to start bubbling up for you to release in this month of Sagittarius, Capricorn. Because that's the 12th house for you. So just understand that. Like, I know this is a weekly breakdown, but that's really relevant for the Capricorns. Is like, if you guys find yourself more emotional this month, that's normal. That's absolutely normal. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? And feelings are truly valid. Like the Capricorns will be the ones to teach you that like you don't have to feel good to do good, and your emotions don't control your fate, and you got to have control over your emotions. But at the end of the day, emotions are a very good and very healthy thing. She said, good thing I'm going to therapy tomorrow. Right. Monday's the perfect day. Let's talk about Aquarius, guys. Got 2 more signs. Good. So Aquarius, this is taking the sun from your 10th and moving it into your 11th. And it's taking Mercury from the 11th back to the 10th. Okay. I mean, and just kind of keeping it short and sweet. We could go on and on. It's about Pluto in your first, and oh man, Uranus going back into your 4th, and oh my goodness, Saturn in your 2nd. You guys are going through big evolution, learning how to bring yourself out the box regardless if the world is ready for you or not, how to step in your power. I actually really love this, man, because the 11th house sun transit, that really brings out the Aquarius energy, period. So this month for Aquarius is about putting yourself out there. And that's too funny. You see, that's the strength card in the middle, exactly what I was talking about. that you let yourself be seen, that you become a little bit more visible, that you network. I got the high priestess out here too. So the interesting thing is the new moon is going to kick off in your 10th. So that's all about new goals, new aspirations, new ideas, and obligations too. So ultimately, I can't really speak too much about that because every person is so unique and different. And what I constitute success might not be the same as you, but that call really is going to come from inside the house. See what that high priestess. The beautiful thing, and this is my belief, so take it with salt. The beautiful thing I think about this universe and its intelligence is that it's so smart, it never separates you from your highest path. And frankly, there's a lot of ways to be successful, but never in your life are you going to be in an experience where you don't have access to success. There's always a way for you to level up and grow. And ultimately, you just have to listen to yourself. And look at the Six of Cups in reverse for you guys. I think this really does speak to the sun moving into that 11th house right here. Is to say that you're going to look at the ways in which you held back on the world. Look at the ways in which you neglected collaboration. I love Aquarius, and I think, I'm an Aquarius soul. I fuck with the Aquarius. A lot of us have Uranus in Aquarius or maybe Neptune in Aquarius. I see Maya in the chat. She's Aquarius all the way. Aquarius has that reputation of being friendly, but also a little detached, kind of a loner at times, man. I see Nadia in the chat. Yeah, we got Aquarius all around. Kind of detached sometimes, fam. And I think it's a beautiful thing to be a lone wolf and an army of one, to be able to really fuck with yourself and you be unique and even different. But then they calling you out. Yeah, the challenge is, when you are a rebel without a cause, or you kind of just being iconoclastic to be different or stirring shit up for no reason. Artificial separation, man. Teamwork makes the dream work. And it's saying, let people support you and say yes to more things. Don't say yes to bullshit. Like, trust your gut, trust your intuition. But, teamwork can really make the dream work. I believe that we really will always get more with a collaborative, unified effort than an individual one. And I think history has proven this. And I think we can put this to the test as well. I will say, on an extreme opposite, if you are waiting for a company to get started, we might wait forever, just like waiting for the time to be perfect. But, there's no reason we can't take a journey with our friends, Aquarius. That's what's really coming through. Mars in the 11th. Yeah, it's all about expansion for you guys this week, about getting involved. And the thing about this also, I want to speak to Venus in your 10th, is that, whatever you're doing, if you want to include people in your journey right now is the time to do it, because with Venus in the 10th, you're liable to get way more support from people. Just something to think about. Venus in the 10th is lit because, like, when you have Venus in your 10th and that energy is just kind of radiating towards your potential, the way that you feel about growth and the poise and the grace and the diplomacy and the charm that radiates from you, people just can't help but want to support. I got chills as I said that. It's a beautiful thing. I got Venus in my 10th natal, so I can speak on that from experience. But fam, this is your time to shine, and this is your time to let people support you, Aquarius. For real, for real. For real, for real. It's a power couple, power group, like mastermind, You're going to have a beautiful week, Aquarius. I already know. So this is for Pisces. Let's get to the Pisces. It's all about you, Aquarius. Yeah. And Aquarius will tell you off the rip, it's about us, So don't be afraid to take center stage. I'm so glad you said that, Michelle. Seriously, especially with the sun going into their 11th in Sag, that's really going to bring out the true Aquarius spirit in those people, which is a beautiful thing. Let's go, Pisces. I see you, Haley. All right. So, of course, Scorpio's in their 9th. So you'll see the sun move into their 10th and then Mercury move back in the 9th. Crazy stuff. So what's that mean? More than anything, man, the heat is turning up for the Pisces, and they're going to find themselves that fire is burning under their ass and they're just itching to grow. New goals, new career endeavors, maybe a new business, perhaps, like promotions. New standards is a good way to look at the 10th house sun. Really cool stuff. Yeah. New standards. And then as far as Mercury going back in the 9th, that's all about checking your beliefs. Our mutable signs kind of have this. I mean, if you look at the zodiac, man, I've been saying that to the mutable signs in this video. Like there's parallels to the modes when you look at the astrology. It's really cool. But look at your life, Pisces, this week and think about a person who lives like you. What would they have to believe about themselves in order to live this way? And if you I'm telling you, Pisces, if you really take the time to answer the question earnestly, I'm going to stop hitting the desk out of drama, because last time I listened to my videos, the sound was crazy. Me hitting the desk. I'm just excited about this. I'm just trying to drive the point home. If you really answer the question genuinely, you might freak yourself out. That might actually spawn some real change in your life. You may notice that you need completely different beliefs, that you need to believe in yourself more, that you need to believe in your potential more. You know, I'm speaking to all the signs right now. I want to say it doesn't matter where your sun, moon, rising is, man. Is it possible that you have more potential than you realize? Is it possible that you have more creativity than you're using? I mean, this is going to be the whole month for you guys, Pisces. When the sun goes into that 10th, you're going to really see that the bar has been raised and you can do a lot more. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Made you emotional? Yeah. Self-image is one of the most important things that we can really pay attention to, because self-image falls under our control, guys. I know we talk about how we can control our actions, we control our responses, the words we choose. The image you project of yourself in this world, or like the analog self, this controls your life subtly and subconsciously, because your brain, your nervous system, your physiology, it seeks congruence. So I could really drive this home and more specific. Let's say the 10th house, that's about success, which by definition, it might be a little different for each and every one of us what success really means. But in terms of success, you want to be successful. Let's say if you believed that you were a failure, or that you had a negative self-image and, the ideas that come from that, you could have goals. You could have the right plans. You could be willing to take the action too. But at some point, the nervous system would start to throw you off track because it wants you to live in congruence. Okay. So when we start talking about implementing change, we start to change our behavior, our thoughts, our habits. It takes a little bit of time to really create long-lasting change. You know how the power of habit is. I think it was Warren Buffett who said, the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they're too strong to be broken. And maybe there's some truth to that, but I would say, man, don't wait for life to force you to make a change when you have the ability to make it your damn self. Okay. That's my message to the Pisces. Let's pull some cards for them. And I think what's also beautiful, like this phrase echoes in my mind lately. Like this whole year, I've just been thinking about personifying the teaching. Personifying the teaching. So with us all having maybe a different version of success, I don't think it's right for me to tell you what to do. But Pisces, and I'm really speaking to the divine mind as I'm speaking to Pisces. I'm sure everybody can feel this on some level, but overcome the illusion in this physical world and realize that you are what you aspire for already. That your intentions hold power, your dreams hold power, your aspirations hold power. Yes, on one level, I know I said this in this very video, guys, that a vision without action is delusion. And I mean that. I truly believe that. But at the same time, fam, that doesn't mean you can't derive confidence or joy or meaning from your intent or your vision. I would recommend you do that, especially if you are Pisces, because a lot of the stuff that you experience is non-tangible and emotional, and it's still reality. It's still reality, fam. And this is for my fire family. Fire correlates to vision, and the challenge of manifesting your will in this world is that people don't see your vision until it manifests physically. And everyone loves success and we can appreciate a winner, but the truth of the matter is, man, we really only clap for those that don't need it. When someone hits 100K in their business, or they hit 1 million followers, or they buy their mama house, woo! It's like, man, that's cool. I know it feels good to see the victory lap, but it's like when they're grinding, when they're setting it up, when they're sacrificing, that's when they need the applause the most. That's when they need the support the most. So I'm just saying that to say for the Pisces that when you're raising your standards with the sun in the 10th, when you're falling on your face, raising your threshold, clap for yourself and applaud the growth, because one good deed deserves another. This is a beautiful 3 cards for you guys. I love this so much, man. You got the World, which is Saturn and Pisces. You could create whatever the fuck you want, Pisces, for real. If you believe, 9 of Cups, you have a powerful gift to give to this world. All right. And I'm almost certain if you are the Pisces energy, your idea of success has something to do with contribution. It has something to do with giving. It's so much bigger than just yourself. It's something that genuinely lifts the world up. So get excited for that. The one message for Pisces, I mean, it's so stereotypical, but believe. If you don't believe, you won't reach. Check your beliefs. I mean, there are gaps. All gaps are going to get filled. So look at where you are right now and look at where you want to be, and then ask the question again, what does the person who is successful have to believe about themselves? And if you sit there with your journal and you fill it out, fam, you'll be pleased. You'll see positive results. I'm going to pull some cards for the collective, guys, and then we'll see. But that's the Zodiac. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I will say, man, on your personal growth journey, one of the biggest challenges you're going to see, Fire Family, is inertia. Inertia is that an object at rest has the tendency to stay at rest. So change is usually uncomfortable. But once you break through that uncomfortability and you create habit and you start to reap the rewards of change, it becomes no longer about discipline. It becomes about who you are. And that's powerful. That's really beautiful stuff. You don't even have to force yourself to do right anymore because you're so addicted to the rewards. You're so excited to keep winning. It's pretty powerful stuff. I'm just going to do a quick 4 card because I got to go to bed. Oh, you got Charting the Soul? That book is such a good book. Oh my goodness. That's like probably my favorite astrology book by Rebecca Hirsch, Charting the Soul. So good. My phone died, guys. So TikTok, I mean, it was divine timing, really. I know TikTok was like, where'd he go? Where did he go? All right, gang-a-lang. So look at this. I'll go left to right. We got Ace of Wands in reverse, which is Scorpio season, transformation. You better believe, guys, when you see a lobster or a tarantula or some snake molting or shedding, that takes a lot of energy. I don't know if you guys back home have ever owned like a tarantula or a snake, or you've seen a lobster, but after they molt or shed, they don't do much after. They need time to rest. And also there's a vulnerability period because that new skin or exoskeleton, it kind of has to harden up. I used to have a tarantula. Her name was Helen. But But yeah, she would molt. It takes so much energy. She would molt, and then she would look like naked, like because her shell wouldn't be hard yet. Tender, exposed, exactly right. So that looks like the energy we're kind of moving through in Scorpio to some extent. And also keep in mind, guys, like this lunar cycle is a trip because on the Gregorian calendar, we have months that take around 30 to 31 days. But in the lunar cycle, the month, the moon, it takes 28 and a half days. So every now and then, guys, we'll have our blue moon. And we know about this. But the crazy thing about how this plays out in the lunar cycle is that, you know, sometimes we'll have two lunations in the same sign, which is really cool. So what I'm just trying to say, guys, is that this new moon this week in the sign of Scorpio, it exists. You know, it is a real thing. The new moon is the beginning of the lunar cycle where the moon is dark, and that in itself kind of brings us on a downswing, you know, where the soil is fertile. We can plant these new seeds and intentions in the universe and water them. And sometimes energy is a little lower around that time. And I think it's okay to rest, you know, that's part of life, but it's so worth your time and energy to do something intentional and ritualistic around that new moon. Okay. Even if it is a stretch, raise your standards and do something magical this week. Be intentional with everything in your life, and your intentions will manifest. Put it to the test. You know, change can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary in order to grow. And it's going to be the hardest when it matters the most, but then it's going to get easier. I promise. So we got the Two of Swords in the middle. This is a crossroads week, guys. We're in the crossroads right now. I mean, nobody really knows what the future holds unless you're willing to create it for yourself. Consider the vibrations raised. This is the fourth card, the 10 of Cups. You could create whatever the fuck you want in this life, man, as long as you believe. Please don't lose in your own fantasies. Fire family, I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. It's Mr. Meyer with the fire. You're going to take the collective vibration higher. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If it's the stream or the replay, I appreciate you guys. If you don't mind, please do leave a like. That would help out this channel tremendously. We've been hitting milestones. We're going to take this channel to like 10K and then 20 and then 30 and 40 and 50. Fam, could you imagine if there was like a YouTube plaque on that wall? Crazy. I just put this poster up today, but it's like I could literally see it in my mind's eye, fam. Like, check, fam. Stop the screen. We'd have like the silver one, the gold one. Let's go, fam. It would mean the world to me if you guys could hit that like and subscribe. That help the channel. We got goals, man. I'm not a Pisces rising, but you already know I got some goals. So I appreciate you guys taking the time. Have a blessed week. Remember, you create this reality. I'll see you guys on the other side. Discord server is linked down below. I love y'all. Peace. No, you hang up first. Okay.